Now, if you thought non-profit organizations were South Africa's saving grace, think again. The Special Investigating Unit has linked 15,000 NGOs to the lottery scam. It's now gearing up for the next phase of its investigation into the National Lotteries Commission, with 100 organizations coming into sharp focus. Newzroom Afrika's Erin has our report.
Special Investigating Unit Head Advocate Andy Motibi has promised more movement on a probe into corruption claims at the National Lotteries Commission. He says further developments are imminent, with some potentially involving high-profile individuals.
Certain grants have been granted irregularly, corruptly to NPCs and NPOs, and in the process, of course, we uncover who benefited corruptly and who was responsible internally at the lottery to process all this. So there is indeed a potential that several names will come up. So at the moment, and as we always do, whenever those outcomes are reached and we are in a position legally to point them out and report on them, we will do so.
The SIU is scrutinizing suspected corruption involving lottery grants to non-profits, some of which are shams. The official sum, transactions to the tune of 1.4 billion rand. Ground-up investigative journalist Raymond Joseph exposed the NLC scheme.
I've got to turn to auditors and accountants to help me interpret it. And doing those deep dives and following the money, because what was happening is money was washing through accounts. So the example I gave you with procurement, where money would be paid millions would be paid to an organization, which in turn paid on to another organization, A, keeping it off the books, and B, muddying the trail. And following the money through that stuff. Unfortunately, as investigative journalists, I wish I could walk into a bank and demand bank statements.
Joseph says procurement corruption could make the lion's share of looting at the NLC. The SIU is waiting for President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision on whether the unit will be approved for a wider mandate. Last year, Motibi told the Portfolio Committee on Trade that Phase 1 would be done by the end of March 2022. With the report set to be handed to Ramaphosa in April last year. But it has taken far longer.
This investigation is in phases. We're done with Phase 1, which was the grants that we were looking at were to the value of more than 200 million. And we are busy with, wrapping up that part with its own outcomes. The second phase also was the grants to the NPOs and NPCs, also was valued at the grants of about 200 million as well. The third phase, which is still to commence, the team has quantified that the grants that were involved there and the NPOs that benefited in the third phase would be 905 million. So if you add all of this, it's more than 1 billion of the grants of the monies that were meant to go and be used for the benefit of the poor.
It's clear the SIU is finding more and more rot the deeper it digs. And it's not only the Lotteries Commission. There are ongoing investigations into Fort Hare University, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, and Road Accident Fund. Increasingly, the SIU is looking to data for proof.
I'm very glad to hear that the SIU is finally coming to the 21st century and are using data analysts, because really that stuff is very, very complex.
The SIU's newly appointed data analytics head began this week. He brings skill from his time in the banking sector to an office of some 600 staff. It's a major hire for the unit, which aims to develop its own team of IT sleuths and create an in-house modeling tool on corruption data, something South Africa has in abundance. For Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405, I'm Erin in Rosebank, Johannesburg.